An honest review of Hospitable.com. Is it the ultimate tool for short-term rental owners? If you are somebody like me who owns short-term rentals as a real estate investor, you know how much can go into it. We have guest communication. We have issues that can come up at the house, right? We have logistics, coordinating with cleaners and things like that, syncing your bookings across platforms so that it's easy for you to be listed on multiple platforms. There's a lot that can go into it, both in terms of managing the people and managing the tech. So today I'm going to give you an honest review of Hospitable.com. It's a vacation rental software that I use personally, so I'm going to give you my insider take on what I love about it, what I think sets it apart from some of its competitors, and where it may have some shortcomings so that you can determine as an investor or co-host for short-term rentals, whether or not it's a great platform for you to use in your business. Now, before we get started, make sure you head on over to adriennegreen.com to download my free Freedom Blueprint that walks you through all of my top systems and tools for making sure that you're getting the time and financial freedom that you want as a real estate investor. So often we get into it, we don't run it like a business, and we don't get that time and financial freedom we want. So learn from me so that you can live the life of your dreams like I've been able to. All right, let's dive into Hospitable.com. What sets Hospitable apart from its competitors? Well, first, I would like to say that I think it does a really great job making things easy and leveraging AI. That's what I'd say it does overall better than some of its competitors. So first, let's talk about Hospitable's messaging system. They have a very intelligent AI-enabled messaging system. So how I have it set up, or what I have seen in my Hospitable account, is when a guest messages a question or concern, Hospitable's AI automatically gives me a potential response. And often it's really actually quite good. And so I have loved that. I think you might even be able to set it up where those send automatically. I don't know, but I know for me that I love how it sets up this automatic response that's usually quite good and makes it just easier. Now, they also have templates and other tools that competitors also have. So you can automatically send automated messages when certain actions happen. You can automatically have templates that you've saved in there, all those things that you can get in other platforms as well. I do think Hospitable does that better too. And it also has this AI suggestion that I'm really loving. Another thing that has set Hospitable apart for me versus some of the other tools I've used in the past is its collaboration tools that allow you to easily collaborate with others on your team. It can really streamline getting task assignments to cleaners or to maintenance teams directly through the system and send automated task reminders tied to bookings.
Oh, well, isn't that convenient?
So whether or not your cleaner or other service provider is tech-enabled, Hospitable has a way that you can work with them. And other competitors, I believe, charge more for similar features or require separate add-ons where this is integrated into Hospitable. So let me give you an example of how these collaboration tools help me in my properties. I have a couple houses with so many beds that we actually have to use a linen service where the linen service provides the linens for all of the beds, as well as the towels and things like that. And with Hospitable, I'm able to have a setup where when somebody books a stay at one of these houses, the linen service is automatically notified. And then they're also given a reminder a couple days prior. They're able to integrate and see my calendar on their calendar, and they're also able to get email notifications. So this was a really easy way that didn't require any tech setup on my provider's side. And we're able to give them everything they need, have it all be automated so we don't have to do anything ourselves. That's one of the things that's been really easy with Hospitable that I didn't have on a similar tool I was using before. And then my third real personal pro that I think has set Hospitable apart from its competitors for me is the smart lock integration. It automatically creates a personalized, unique code for each of our guests to get into our houses with our smart locks that we have at the front. I don't have to do it manually. It all is done in Hospitable. I was able to set up the settings. Here's when I want the lock to start working for this code. Here's when I want the lock to stop working for this code based on the booking. So if you want the code to start right at check-in, or you want it to start a couple hours before check-in because you often allow early check-ins, or however you want that lock to work, you're able to set up these automatic rules and then Hospitable, for every booking, just automatically creates an anonymized code that starts and stops working based on the settings you have put in. I love this because it provides so much more security, right? If we're having a smart lock, we want it to be secure. We don't want to have one code in there that always good that you just give to guests. And we know that there's owners out there who do that, appalling as it is. We want every guest to have their own code that only works for their stay. And it's really easy to have that totally automated and require no manual input from Hospitable. Now, the other thing I would say is, let's say that your standard is that it starts working at check-in. And when you allow early check-ins, you want the code to start working early. It's really easy in Hospitable to go into that code section and to change it so the code starts working earlier, to change that time, or that starts working right then, right immediately. So there is easy flexibility if you need to go in and adjust it manually, and yet the automated way that it works is really, really easy. So those are some of the features of Hospitable that I really liked, that I felt set it apart. Let's go over some general pros that may apply to you. First, I would say Hospitable's pretty cost effective. It's pretty competitively priced for all of the automation features that it has, especially when you compare it to some of its competitors, and for small to mid-sized portfolios. Now, the pricing can change based off of what your size of your portfolio and what exactly you want. So you would want to look at the Hospitable website to see what the cost would be for you. I found that when I was looking to switch to Hospitable, it was only a few dollars more per month, and it offered a lot more functionality and ease of use than my previous vacation rental software did. So I think for what it offers, it's very cost effective. The second thing I would say that is really fabulous is how user friendly it is. It's designed for non-techie people, and you can really see that in the user experience. It is so easy to use. And along those lines, what I love is when you Google, how do I do X, Y, or Z in Hospitable, it will pull up a very easy how-to that Hospitable has put together. So you will find this webpage and you can follow along step by step. No matter what I wanted to do in Hospitable, I can Google, how do I do X, Y, or Z in Hospitable? And I get a how-to article that helps me. So very user-friendly and with a lot of resources for the non-techie people. And then the third pro, if you're someone looking to scale, that's something that Hospitable can help you do really well. Some competitors will charge significantly more when you scale larger. Hospitable's pricing model is much more scale friendly than some of its competitors. All right, now finally, there is nothing perfect. Unicorns don't really exist. So what are some limitations that you should be aware of with Hospitable? It may not suit all property management needs. So one of the things is that it doesn't really have a lot of financial tools in-house. It does have great reports where you can get data, and yet you might want to take that data and use something else to really evaluate it. It's not going to have in-depth financial reporting, and I'm not using any bookkeeping integration with it. I use a separate tool like QuickBooks for my accounting and financial information. And so realize you are going to need a separate financial tool, more than likely, even with using Hospitable. The other possible limitation is that obviously it's made for short-term rentals. So if you have multiple different types of properties, it's really only going to be focused on your short-term rentals. Because there is a cost per property, I don't put my long-term rentals into Hospitable because I'm not needing all of its functionality or services there. And so it'd be silly to have them in Hospitable and pay for them in there every month when I'm not using it. So realize that it's mostly for short-term rentals. And if you're doing short-term rentals, it's zeroed in and it's for that purpose. It's not going to help you with other properties that aren't short-term rentals. Those are pretty much the two limitations that I am aware of. Other than that, it's been fabulous. So in conclusion, I've switched to Hospitable this year, and it has been huge for my business. It's a great platform that's really easy to use, really easy to get started up. There's not a whole lot of work to get it up and rolling for your properties. And I've been really happy that I've used Hospitable. It's really made my short-term rental management a lot easier and better. So if you decide you're going to move forward with Hospitable, use my code in the description below to get $30 credit on your first invoice. So easy peasy, use that code to set up your account. You're going to get $30 off your first invoice. And I hope you love Hospitable as much as I do. Make sure to tune in again next week as well to get more tricks and wisdom on running your real estate investing portfolio so you get the time and financial freedom you want.